I've seen things in homes that no one really wants to see. Children with bruises, burned with cigarettes, starved, broken bones, skull fractures, scalded with hot water, tied up. I've seen children who were left to feed on the floor like grazing animals, living in rooms with broken fish tanks, where the floor was covered with glass and water and dead fish. I've seen children in their own feces, so much that you couldn't find a place to step. I wish that all children had a good mom and a good dad and people around them that cared about them and protected them and took care of them.
Hope and Home is a different kind of child placement agency.
We have to make really good placements, we have to make good fits, or we hurt kids.
A lot of times we get these kids and their light is just about to go out. And that is the job of our foster parents, is to get that light to shine brighter and brighter.
I get anywhere from 200 calls a month for families that are interested, and if I just went by the minimum state requirements for what you had to do to be a foster parent, probably most of them would get through. We certify about 4 a month.
I require that our parents have more than twice the amount of training that is required by the state of Colorado, because our parents need it.
If we just did the state requirements, my job would be a lot easier.
These are children coming into care who have tough issues and have tough behaviors and tough circumstances.
Christopher was our first placement, and we were a little overwhelmed.
He was really neglected in his early childhood, and he needed stability. He needed a family that he could count on and people around him that really could care for him.
He went to another place, and then he came back.
At one point, we were asked to pray about having Christopher come back into our home, and we prayed about it quite a lot. And we talked to our children, and we said, do you think we should bring Christopher back here? And the response was, Mom and Dad, you've got to bring Christopher back, because if you don't bring him here, he'll wind up in gangs and on drugs, and his life will be a wreck. We have to save Christopher. And so we did.
We want to make sure that every kid that comes to Hope and Home doesn't just come into an agency, doesn't just come into a house. They come into a home, and they come into a family that's going to take care of them.
I was so excited when I got adopted, because then I would get to live with this family forever.
He was so thrilled to tell his classmates that his new name was now Christopher Thomas Combs, and he was just so proud. He had a big cowboy hat on for the occasion and his Western clothes, and he just, it was the best day of his life.
From the very beginning, when I first heard about it from my close friends, as we were talking together, we were all three in tears, because we felt the power of God, and vision of children being brought into families and loved in a special way. I had grown up in an alcoholic family. A friend of my parents one day came to my mother and said that she would like to send me to school. And she sent me to school and paid for every single cent of it and everything I did and all my clothes. And when she died, she left me a small inheritance. And when I got that inheritance, I wanted to thank God. So I promised God that I was going to use that money the same way to help some children.
Hope and Home has a motto that we call inclusion.
My house is their house. When they came in here, it became our house.
My wife and I feel that when we bring kids into our home, that we have to include them. for them to know that we really care.
The day of Christmas, we woke all the kids up, said, hey, let's go open up the presents. They said, huh? You got us presents? Well, of course we got you presents. We found out later that they had never received presents, birthday presents, Christmas presents, any kind of gifts in the previous foster homes they were in. I guess they were excluded. And we let them know, we could never exclude you. You are part of the family here at the Roby House.
We think about kids first when we think about what it's like to be a kid and what it's like to be a kid in the middle of the night and what it's like to be frightened. We got called in the middle of the night at about midnight with the story of 5 kids who were left alone in an apartment. 9-year-old daughter, Angelica, was taking care of her sisters and brothers. Child Protection came in and they removed the children from the home and called us. They were scared. As you can imagine, they'd been just taken away from their home in the middle of the night. They didn't know where their family was. After we got them squared away, we're heading back to my house, and my daughter was just undone. And she said, Dad, did you see Angelica's shoes? And I said, no. And she said, they're black. She says, they're white sandals and they're black. And she said to me, I was babysitting all week, trying to come up with, because I need some money for shoes. She says, I don't need shoes. Angelica needs shoes. And so the next morning, she went out and used her babysitting money to make sure that Angelica got a new set of shoes. We were all over at the foster mom's house that next day, making sure that all the kids got new shoes, and they had underwear, and they had everything that they needed to be okay at that time. And that's what we do.
I believe God called me to be part of this ministry, and He's given me the opportunity that I asked Him for.
It's about the human piece of all this. It's about knowing that you can make a difference to somebody when they're really in a time of trouble.
Every day, there's another child out there that needs to be loved.